welcome to the Daily Scripture Podcast. My name is Jerome Lavelle, and I hope that you're having a stupendous day today. Today we will be looking at Mark chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. Some Pharisees and Herodians were sent to Jesus to ensnare him in his speech. They came and said to him, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man and that you are not concerned with anyone's opinion. You do not regard a person's status, but teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not? Should we pay or should we not pay?" Knowing their hypocrisy, he said to them, "Why are you testing me? Bring me a denarius to look at." They brought him one, and he said to them, "Whose image and inscription is this?" They replied to him, "Caesar's." So Jesus said to them, "Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." They were utterly amazed at him. Today in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 13 through 17, we hear Mark's account of Jesus' confrontation with those trying to trip him up or entrap him. In this case, it is the Pharisees and Herodians who think they have the perfect snare in asking Jesus about paying the Roman tax. If Jesus says, yes, pay the tax, then he is in league with the Romans and obviously not who he claims to be. If Jesus says, no, don't pay the tax, then he will be reported to the Romans for fomenting lawlessness. I can almost see the questioners' faces smiling and smirking triumphantly, thinking that they had boxed Jesus into an inescapable corner. And perhaps there was even a little gasp from the crowd gathered around when that question was posed, both from those detractors thinking, okay, we're going to expose him now, we've got him, and perhaps even from those followers thinking, wow, that's a good question. How is Jesus going to respond? The Scripture tells us that Jesus instantly recognizes their hearts and their hypocrisy, even asking them, "Why are you testing me?" And he asked this perhaps as a rhetorical question, but also perhaps as a prelude to his response, maybe implying that the questioners should have more humility. Nonetheless, Jesus' even, logical approach and response takes what was a potentially damaging trap and elevates it into an important message and teaching. His words take the mind and the heart of those who hear them, from thinking about the trap to thinking about holiness. His words beg us to ask ourselves, am I giving to God what is God's? Jesus answered, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's." And so what is God's? Well, I would contend everything in my life came from God. My very existence, the air I breathe, my family and my relationships, my tremendous blessings, as well as perhaps crosses that we all bear, could be rendered back to God. In today's gospel, Jesus turns a trap into a teaching and compels us all to think about, what are we doing with the incredible gift of life that we have been given? What are we rendering unto God? Thank you for joining the Daily Scripture Podcast. My name is Jerome Lavelle. And remember, our word of the day is render unto God what is God's. Until next time, Be well and be blessed.